All right, folks, here we are. We got the final four. We're gonna do a kind of a hybrid between old fashioned and the latest and greatest versions of Bagels and Birdies. Just me today. Could do kind of a shorter form, largely because I just don't really have time. It's Christmas week, been pretty busy. But listen, a video needs to be done. I hate how you see the glare on these glasses. I'm gonna take them off. Um, but yeah, look, big week. It's just me, but that doesn't make it any less important. We've got two big matchups here. We're showcasing, obviously, any given Sunday versus Oops Rebellion, and that's where we're going to begin. Um, AGS got the victory last week, kind of bloodbath, honestly. Really, really, really put it on the Gotham Rogues last week. Um, but listen, it's a new week. Last week doesn't matter, as Kevin knows. The regular season doesn't matter at all, actually. So, where do we begin here? Let's start the one seed back in action. Utes Rebellion had the nice week off, although it ended up not really being a nice week. Um, Jalen Hurts goes down. Can't really understate how big of a deal that one is. Hurts is the number two quarterback, averages 29 and a half points per game. He's been responsible for about 28.5% of Kevin's overall team points. And if there was ever a knock on Kevin's team, it was kind of the fact that, they had a kind of a four-headed monster, and now down to three. So definitely a big loss. But hey, that's why he got Keenan Allen and Pittman, and people have given him some slack for that, including myself. But hey, if they show up over these next 2 weeks, who really cares about the rest of the regular season? Um, I have no quote from Kevin Kavanaugh. I'm sure a lot of you guys are surprised, but he just never responded to me today. So I have no inside information from the Utes Rebellion camp, but I'm sure that they'll be ready to go. He's won in the past. He definitely seems a little deflated by this Hurts news, and I think most people would be, but um, interested to see how they bounce back as he's got Minshew in at the moment. So we'll see what happens with that. On the other side, AGS, healthy team, no real running back, no real lineup drama outside of running back two. Currently, has Zach Moss in. Um, I know Zach Moss got a lot of carries. I can't imagine the Colts are going to be up by 30 again. And also, Zach Moss is just kind of not that good. But hey, it's hard to find running backs with a set role. If you can guarantee 15 touches from a running back, I think it's a fine play. So, we'll see if he sticks with that. But the other important thing, as you can see, if I scroll up here, AGS 0-2 against Utes Rebellion so far this year. As they both mentioned, hard to beat a team three times. So we'll see what kind of adjustments any given Sunday makes. Weather's going to be a factor kind of everywhere. I know that Bears game is going to be like negative 10 degrees. Luckily with Fields, I don't know that it matters that much. He's going to run either way, so I think he'll be okay. And the quote that I received from AGS is simply "Dale muerte." So for those of you who know what that means, there you go. Prediction time. I mentioned that Bears Bills game is going to be huge. We have Justin Fields versus Bills defense in this matchup. So I don't know what the math does, but I think there could be like a 12-point touchdown or something like that if they score at the right time. So, if Fields has a big day there, it could spell trouble. So that's going to be a game to watch. Also, we've got, if the lineups stay where they are, we'll have Zach Moss versus Pittman. We'll have Chargers kicker in there. Monday night, have to take the over on Locos Drag Monday night if this one's close. But you know what? All that being said, I'm going to stick with Boots Rebellion. Um, I just don't see the firepower on AGS. It really like Fields can go off, but the rest of that lineup, they're all pretty good players. I just don't see anyone that has that upside that I see from guys like Chubb and Cook and Diggs. So, um, I'm gonna take the one seed. I'm gonna take them. They're proven winners. I'm gonna take Boots Rebellion here. And in our other matchup, we have Murphy's Law versus Deuces Wild. Um, two teams coming off some good wins, some good performances. Um, I don't think either were that close. I know Monday night things could have gotten interesting, but I think both owners happy with how last week went. We'll start with Deuces Wild and Patrick Mahomes. I mean, the guy just continues to be a force, continues to be a factor. Number one quarterback. Even when it seems like he's not playing great or the Chiefs aren't playing great, it doesn't really matter. The points are always there. So Mahomes obviously a factor. A lot of options at running back. You can show the bench here. A lot of options. We got James Conner, we got Kenny Walker, we've got Dobbins, Foreman, Zonovan Knight, Bam Knight. A lot of options at running back. So a lot of pressure is on Dan to make the right decisions there. I don't think anyone ever really wants it. I know he doesn't love that, but I guess having a lot of options is better than having no options. So a lot of pressure on Dan to pull the right strings. And then again, I see three Bengals in the lineup against the Patriots, and he's going against noted Pats fan James. So I'm sure that'll be an interesting game to watch. That game will definitely play a factor in this one. In talking with Dan, I think he feels good about his team, but understands that he's playing a good team. So both owners really are in the same boat of they feel pretty good, they like their team, but I don't think anyone's expecting an easy win on this matchup. On the flip side, Murphy's Law, quarterback play is an issue. We could see a really big gap out of those quarterbacks between Mahomes and whether it's Watson or Purdy. Currently, is Watson in. You know, Watson hasn't really shown much there, so we'll see what he decides to do. The one thing we do know is it's the Eckler and Pollard show for now on. I will say Aaron Jones looked pretty damn good off that bye week, but that's kind of the bed that I think James has made, and I don't think he's going to change. I don't think he really should. Um, so again, these running back decisions that these owners are making, I think we'll probably be able to look back at this matchup and just look at the bench and look at the running backs, and who knows? Maybe it'll play a major difference, maybe it won't, but I would imagine that some of those decisions are going to be game changers. Um, Also, no Juwan Johnson. I know we kind of all laughed about the fact that he scored twice last week. Juwan Johnson has 7 touchdowns in his last 7 games. Kind of crazy. Um, he doesn't get a ton of yards, but damn, 7 touchdowns in 7 games. He might have more touchdowns than Kelsey. So good for him. Um, and then again, what I see in this game is quarterback play, Deuce Wild, running back play for Murphy's Law. I think Dan's going to need like a 20-point gap in the quarterback. And I can also say James probably needs about a 20-point gap in running back. Both are definitely possible. Um, after that QB running back position, I think if this thing is tied, it'll be close down the whole way. Um, so all that being said, I'm going to go with Deuces Wild in a close, high-scoring game. I think the winner of this match is really in a good position for the championship. Um, but yeah, I think Deuces Wild. I think Mahomes is just too much right now, and he's got a home game against Seattle. Meanwhile, James's current quarterback is going to be playing in like below freezing temperature. Um, so I think I think James might be down 25 just off the quarterback position, and he's going to have a lot to climb back from. But look, I've also picked against Murphy's Law, I think, every week this year, and here they are, one game from the championship. So really not my cup of tea to decide the fate of Murphy's Law. So there you go. There's the episode, shorter episode. Next week we'll probably have a bigger one. Not entirely sure what the game plan will be, but until then, have a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Sorry, Josh. Hanukkah started what the 18th, so hope you're having a nice, lovely Hanukkah. Um, and that's it. Toast your bagels, roast your drives. See you guys next time.